Yeah. Oh man, these players are thinking a lot harder than I'm thinking. So we'll see what happens. All right. So for those who are just joining us, this is a best of three match. So we're gonna go to game two now. We're gonna let our players get their mulligans done and then jump into the mix.
Great. And right off the bat, we saw the power of Bangle of Blinding Strike, but it didn't look um, not it didn't look very different from what we normally see from Songhai because they have access to spells like Mist Walking, and then the Alcuin Lore Master allows them to bring the Mist Walking back to their hand and cast it again. So they're always up to these extra movement shenanigans, and it's really just an additional tool in their arsenal. At the very least, you do have to pay 3 mana for the Bangle of Blinding Strike,
Yeah.
and I think that perhaps compared to what else they're capable of doing, I think that it's in line with
Yeah.
what they can do. And
Uh,
Iframes, I think, knows that Sand Trap is going to be the way to win this match for sure.
yeah. Yeah. I'll say this. Gil has chosen Riva as his general. All the Duelist generals have multiple, or all the Duelist factions have multiple generals, which each have their signature Bloodborne spell. The Sand Trap, tech doesn't really work against the other Songhai general because its ability is to move when its own units out of the way. So,
Mm.
all right. Well, we saw Riva drop this Wings of Mechazor, which is just basically a body that can be plopped anywhere on the battlefield in the way, but iframes had the Silhouette Tracer to jump around it and make the top corner. We actually see iframes taking the lead right here since there's no Bangle to be had from Gil4.
Yeah, so that's really fortunate for him. Gil4 gets the Ether Master dropped right away. In Duelist, you can replace a card from your hand, shuffle it back into your deck, and draw a completely different card. And Ether Master allows you to do that twice, and it's great for this format because it gives you an additional chance to fish through your deck and get that combo piece that you need, that key card that you need for the situation at hand.
Yeah. And yeah, Ethermaster doubles that. So this is a pretty good early drop for the Amazing Race. It's not a very good ladder card because it's pretty weak stat wise. But when you're just keeping it on the back lines and you can drop it early and not have to contest the middle ground as you would normally, its value is pretty apparent when you get to like cycle through your deck and find specific cards.
And we've seen it where Songhai can grab those combo pieces. You want to get your Silhouette Tracers out of your deck as early as possible so you can rely on them to hopscotch over minion barricades like we see that Iframes is approaching now. There's a 1-3 and a 2-6 that he's going to have trouble getting through in order to claim that third corner.
Yeah. Well, I would, if I were iframes, I'd probably use my Silhouette Tracer here to jump over these couple minions. Oh, we can't. Well, never mind.
Yeah,
Looks
the
like,
spacing isn't quite right.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh, Ghost Link's coming down. Gonna move that Silhouette Tracer to a random spot on the map. And it moves perfectly down out of the way where it's not going to be able to move back to the top row and block.
Yeah. So he sand traps this Silhouette Tracer. I don't know if I would have used that just yet. Although I do like the combo of Sand Trap and then Repulsor Beast where you can place it in a specific, corner in this case.
Oh my god, that's so disgusting. You say this can't move, and I'm gonna put it exactly where it's gonna screw my opponent over the most. The Silhouette Tracer being moved down to that particular spot is so good because on Gil4's next turn he can't move 2 spaces forward to get towards that corner.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. We do see that Gil has this juxtaposition in his hand, so he'll be able to move this out of the way. And potentially, move the creature that he's moving there, out of his way so he can move into its spot. It looks like that's what he's doing right now.
All right, yeah. So he's keeping his movement efficient here because your general can move 2 spaces every turn, and for the Amazing Race, basically you want to make sure you move at least 2 spaces every turn.
Yeah. All right. So looking at the Vitruvian player's hand, we see they've got an Incineroar, they've got a Blood of Air, they've got a Silhouette Tracer, and a Crossbones. What do you think is the best sort of like way to proceed here as a Vitruvian player?
Now, Gil4 is going to be closing in on this 4th corner, and it's going to be really tough for Iframes to actually keep him from getting to that 4th corner. It's tough because he's got this barricade set up. You could Blood of Air the Lore Master and trade it into the Ether Master, and you get both of those minions out of the way, so you can get your efficient movement for this turn. But it's not as if that's going to be good enough with his opponent closing in on that final corner. I think that he might need to take some time to block that fourth corner, make it very, very difficult for Gil4 to get in there. We've seen the power of the spell juxtaposition to move obstacles out of the way. It's just a matter of whether or not you see right now, perfect. I think that he's making the correct decision here to just try to run to the to that final set of corners, because he has the Incinerate in hand, he has the Silhouette Tracer, and I think that would give him enough speed normally. And unfortunately, the Bangle of Blinding Strike comes down, allowing Gil4 to claim that fourth corner. But I do think it was correct for Iframes to continue to try to outrace him there.
Yeah, it's the same as in any sort of like game where you have to sometimes sort of abandon hope of beating someone at their own game and just try to go for victory, right? Like I don't know. Sometimes you just have to point all your removal at your opponent's face to try to kill them, even though they're closing in with all their scary units. Well, it looked like the Songhai player won that one. They were using all the classic Songhai movement tricks, and in addition had Bangle of Blinding Light, new from Ancient Bonds.